Hey everyone. In this tutorial, we're going to just take a little bit deeper look into the Software Center. Software Center is new this year, and there are still some bumps and still some people struggling with understanding Software Center and updating your computer and updating programs and software through the Software Center, as opposed to what we used to do, which was just external updates, going to the individual websites. So I just wanted to take a little bit deeper dig into the Software Center and talk a little bit about some of the things that you might want to consider making habitual. So again, you can find Software Center as a program in our Windows 10 operating system. I almost always do this by searching for it using my little magnifying glass or search bar down here, and I just type in Software Center, and it should be the first thing that pops up. Now, one thing that we have had trouble with is that if you're starting Software Center immediately after booting up your computer, sometimes it doesn't open. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but just give it 5 minutes and then Software Center should open for you. Immediately upon opening, Software Center opens to the Applications page. And you can see here on the left are several different toolbars in the menu, and default is Applications. And as you can see, we're starting to get quite a few applications here in our Software Center. And again, these are accessible to all students and staff who have district-issued devices. And so if I'm looking for an app here, I'm probably going to get a little overwhelmed. So one thing that I use all the time is the search bar. So let's say I'm looking for the 3D printer software. I want to have my students install that on their devices, and that is called Cura. And so I'm going to type in Cura, and that should limit the results to just the software that I want. Or one of the most common ones that we use is Java. We do have to update Java on a regular basis, and you'll see here that if I type in and search for Java, it shows up. Now notice that there's 2 here for Java, 2 updates. We want to always go with the most recent update. And if you click on it, you can open it up and see that I have it installed currently. I can uninstall it, but I wouldn't want to do that because some videos and some applications that are animated might not actually run without Java. Same thing for Flash. That's a really common piece of software that we need. In this case, we have 2 different Flash players, one for Chrome and one for Firefox. Now notice here, there are sometimes instructions for your applications. And in this case, Chrome must be closed while you're installing Flash Player. So if you've had a fail on a Flash Player installation, keep in mind that you need to close and then after you install it, reopen Chrome in order for it to work. Now, one thing that you might want to be habitual about is coming in here and checking for your updates, your required updates. Now here, I currently don't have any required updates. I'm currently up to date in my software. Any update that you need that is necessary for security or for operating is going to show up in this list. And you can choose to install them individually, or you can click this button here and choose to install them all at the same time. Many of your installations are going to require a restart for your application to actually be updated. So you might have installed the update, but in terms of it actually being updated, that oftentimes doesn't really take effect until you restart your computer. And that leads me to another important tip, is the difference between restart and shutdown. You'll notice here that we always have the option to go into our power and choose to restart or shut down, and sometimes you also have a sleep option. Shutdown, many people think, is what they should do every single day. Just shut down their computer and then restart it the next morning and everything should be good to go. Shutdown is really, with Windows 10, it's really just a hard sleep in our case. And it's when you restart that you're actually going to be getting your applications updated, that you're actually going to be sending information to and pulling information from tech services. And so it's a good idea to restart your device at least once per week, especially if you know you have updates that need to install, instead of just leaning on the shutdown feature. And again, like I said, shutdown is really just a hard sleep. It's not necessarily going to create any changes in your operating system or push any updates to install. If you click here, usually there's not a lot in this window. If you do have an operating system update or something that needs attention, you'll probably find it in this window. Then if you click here to installation status, you'll see probably a list of your most recent installs. And you can see here status-wise, most of mine have installed successfully. My most recent being Adobe Flash and its new updates. You'll also notice sometimes that there might be a failed update. And that happens. This is just going to be the case sometimes. Usually it will reset itself. Usually it will fix itself, but not always. And so if you do find that you need a piece of software updated and it keeps failing over and over and over, this is the time to submit a tech ticket or talk to me about what you need to do to get that application installed successfully. These two other buttons here are going to be used very infrequently: device compliance and options. The options, you might want to set your business hours. I have not done that yet. It says here my business hours are from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Really, this section right here is for you to tell the computer when you would prefer not to have forced updates. So if I were to set this, I would say, you know what? I don't want them to force an update between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. Usually those are the hours that I'm reliably here at school. And that will help them to basically tell the computer, don't force an update during this time if at all possible. And then just these other drop-down menus are defaulted. I wouldn't necessarily change any of those, and some of them you can't change. So if you do end up changing your business hours, go ahead and just click apply here, and that will apply your new business hours. So hopefully anything that's forced to install will install outside of those. And I think I said this earlier this year, it's a good idea sometimes to leave your computer running as opposed to shut down when you're not here at school. Because if there is an install that needs to be forced, your computer needs to be on in order for it to happen. And so sometimes I don't shut my computer down at night or restart it at every morning. Sometimes I do leave it on. I log out, but I leave it powered on just in case that update needs to force. It will force after 4 p.m. or in my case where I had it set after 10 p.m. And I think that takes care of Software Center and just a little bit more information for you to help you better manage and understand your own installs and updates. But again, you're going to see pop-ups down here sometimes, but those pop-ups really don't take effect unless you come in here and you tell it what to update and tell it that you're ready to install things. So if you have any other questions with Software Center, let me know. Otherwise, good luck and may the force be with you.